Welcome to the Church of Mabus radio show. It's Friday night, 7:05 p.m. Central. You're listening to United Public Radio, 107.7 FM New Orleans. And got to be careful saying those radio things. I had a Mitch McConnell moment. But I'm back. But no, we got Bobby. Well, first off, prayers for Wild Trees. Apparently, he got the COVID, unfortunately, and well, prayers for him. I hope he feels better. And Bobby's here, and he has it. So we're also doing a COVID sideshow.
I have an alleged case. I haven't checked it out.
Oh, okay.
But there's a good chance.
Lately, I've just felt like weirdly weak, and I don't know. It's like I needed some cool weather to come to this part. Luckily, I'm at the top of Florida, and we get cool weather, like in the teens. When that first cool air comes through November, I'll be dancing. November, right? I hope it's October, but it's just draining. Like it's even to go out to the mailbox, it feels like you're on. I feel like a vampire on fire. Like my shirt just feels like it's like radiation or something. It's too hot out there. We got Brad Smith here with us tonight. Creature Movie Reviews. Good to have you here, Brad.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to talk some movies tonight.
We love movies. And let me get this plug I said I'd do out of the way, which is pretty interesting. My guest for October 27th is Michael Aliosa, Aloisi, Dark Ink Books, and he wrote Unmasked, the true life story of the world's most prolific cinematic killer, Kane Hodder. And he's coming on to discuss Dark Ink Books. That's darkinkbooks.com. And that's going to be really a cool Halloween show. I've been really trying to do the craziest, most unique Halloween October month ever, in case this is the last show of the year, in case the earth dies and we all die with it or whatever. And I'm going to mention a few of the people from that month. October 6th, Fred Anderson from Sweden on UFO encounters, Northern Lights in Sweden. And when I first wrote Fred, he's like, let me get back to you. I've been partying for days, and I'll get back to you in a couple of days. Like, I just want to know if the time zone will work. But I got him. He's coming. And I had an encounter with three beings when I was younger. Me and a friend saw them, and they had a black box. Three weird-looking skinny Jawas. Didn't see their faces. And the friend saw it with me. A cat jumped towards them, and they vanished. Get this. Fred Anderson has a bunch of encounters of weird alien stuff in black boxes. So I don't know what the black box is. It creeps me out, like from a Phantasm Hellraiser type thing. Little dwarfs with a black box. But he, in that book, Northern Lights, he'll tell the stories. He sent me some of them. He's going to talk about those. Mark Dizziak, The Death of Edgar Allan Poe. That's October 13th on a Friday the 13th. It's just a book about Edgar Allan Poe's death. October 20th, Stephen Flowers. He wrote a book, Gothic Meditations at Midnight, where he just deciphers occult stuff in movies like Nosferatu, the silent film, Phantom of the Opera, just all kinds of horror movies deciphered with occult stuff. So that's going to be really good. So October 27th, Michael Aliosa, Dark Ink Books. And they also have a book, I guess Gunnar Hansen's that dude's name from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that Leatherface dude. He wrote a book with him, or the publisher did. So we look forward to that. Okay, one quick thing and we'll get started. Now, I've been talking about Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. I've been talking about Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. And I don't even normally watch these kind of shows that much. But what's so alarming about this show is there's so many government personnel involved. It's really creepy. Like, I'm a naturally paranoid person, but you have the governor of Utah, former governor of Utah on the show, the attorney state general on the show, Colonel John Alexander on the show, Bigelow, who used to own the ranch and all his security. You got soldiers coming in from the Tic Tac videos or whatever, Tic Tac videos that the Pentagon released. They even had UFO encounters on the ranch and got sick and had to leave. And it's just, I think there's genuine phenomenon there, but so many government things creeps me out on so many different levels. And Beyond Skinwalker Ranch had Chris Bledsoe on. The guy summoned UFOs. Colonel John Alexander was there, and also the former CIA analyst who like worked on the front lines in wars and stuff. They're investigators there now, and he went outside and summoned UFOs, and they put the neurologist equipment on him or whatever, neurology, and said that he entered a Zen like trance that's kind of like Buddhist or something like that. But anyway, that whole show, they're summoning UFOs. And then there's his book, UFO of God, The Extraordinary True Story of Chris Bledsoe. And I had never heard of the guy. I looked him up and found the book. And it's like number one. I don't know. I know it's been number one before, but it has 5 stars. It's in the Christian section of Amazon. And people are going crazy underneath it saying they're having the same experiences. And basically they love it. I've only read the intro so far. On the back, Colonel John Alexander says, "Do not be surprised if you, the reader, become one of them. Stop in for a wild ride." Colonel John Alexander. Well, anyway, basically it seems like they're trying to get everybody they can outside to interact with whatever he's interacting with. Now, I've had phenomenon like this all my life that's very similar to what I've seen on that show and what I think this guy's seeing that I've seen according to the show. And a lot of that phenomenon happened to me after I had testicular cancer and went through all that crap. And then my dad died and I went cuckoo and got into the occult and read a lot of occult stuff. And I think I attracted a lot of that stuff to me on many different levels. And of course, it led to the show. And I've had times when I've been with people and they've been next to me and they said, "Jeffrey, you're attracting this here." And we've seen weird things in the sky that were, out of the ordinary. I've had times where I've seen these balls of light and asked them to move and they've moved. I don't know what any of this stuff is. But now they're trying to get everyone outside and like commercialize it with Christianity, like UFO summoning. It's like Target having the golf section now for me. It's like I'm just like I don't know. It's creepy on many levels. I think the phenomenon's genuine, but what is the phenomenon? Is it the government faking the phenomenon? Is it ET? Is it angels or beings of light? I think it's some kind of intelligence that's like maybe like the fairy realms or angels and beings, because I've seen beings of light. It may even be the dead, because according to Christianity, you get a body of light. According to many, faith systems, the body of light is a thing, and I've seen these bodies of light, these beings, what shamans call luminous beings, and I think that may be part of it. But there are other people that will say it's all demons, and I saw that Israeli Live News guy that puts out videos on YouTube saying archons were pretending to be angels of light, and he was like, doing a whole seminar on it. Which I guess archons are like some weird alien thing that I don't know what the hell it is, but it's pretending to be angels of light. So there's many perspectives on it. But what's alarming, and I'm almost done, is they're wanting us to read this book and all go out there and do it. It just kind of gives me the creeps. I would like to have a positive view on it, but
that's roughly the plot of Ghostbusters.
And we've heard all these stories about my labs and people getting kidnapped. They may be like, "Okay, you got the powers to talk to them. We got to take you to the lab." Like that Subject movie creeped me out so much. I just saw the whole Stranger Things show is based on Montauk, which is about like kidnapped children and time travel experiments that supposedly happened. I don't know if they really happened, but there are people that swear it did. So there's stuff like that. That's why it creeps me out so much. But you can agree, though, at least, Bobby, it's creepy, at least, right? I mean, am I right? It's a little creepy.
They had Bledsoe on Rick and Bubba 2 weeks ago.
No, what?
Yeah,
that's even creepier.
Yeah. They reached out to him after that show. They reached out to him and got him on.
Wow. I wonder if that's on YouTube.
It is. Rick and Bubba University. Wasn't last Saturday, but the Saturday before.
So for some reason, the government's wanting us to get out there and interact with this thing. What is this thing? And, what the hell's happening?
It's obviously to eat us.
Yeah, that's the other thing. People think that the reason they don't tell us is because all these years they made a deal with extraterrestrials who do use us for genetic things and may eat us. Same ones that do cattle mutilation. So, there's so many ways to go with this.
Yeah.
The series. Remember, the reptilians came down. They were nice. Freddy Alien was nice. Robert Englund. And then, of course, they ate us. So it's been ingrained in our heads. But
even in the 60s, they had a Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man.
To Serve Man.
Yeah.
No, it says To Serve Man.
Was it
Simpsons
food?
did it.
That was the end of that one too. Aliens eating you.
It was a cookbook. Yeah.
Well, Brad, it's great to have you here. If you could give us a little bit of background about yourself. What was the catalyst for Creatures of all things, the movie reviews, which we love Creatures here. So
yeah, no, I think it's a match made in heaven. So where do we start? Honestly, I could say when I was 4 years old, I remember watching Bigfoot documentary at my parents. Well, obviously I live with my parents, and I remember it really vividly. I was sitting on the floor. I mean, I had to be 4 or 5. I was drawing a picture of a giraffe. Okay, so I wasn't even thinking Bigfoot. I remember I looked up and I saw on the TV like a cliffside with some pine trees and the moon, and I heard a howl. And ever since then, they were watching some Bigfoot documentary. Ever since then, I've been like interested, right? So you grow up and you go to school and you know you go to the library and there's like 2 Bigfoot books in the library. You know, you rent them out and you get them and get them, and then just it just kind of stuck with me. It never went away. I've never had an encounter. I've been in the woods a lot. I was in the Boy Scouts, so I was in the woods every month. Never had anything happen, but that doesn't mean anything, you know. So I just got super interested into Bigfoot, and then a few years ago, I was sitting there thinking, you know, there's not that many Bigfoot movies. There can't be, you know, maybe 6, 7. I'm just gonna watch them all, review them, put them online. Well, I was wrong, dead wrong. There's over 200, just Bigfoot, just Bigfoot movies. So I thought that's the name of the channel. I made it Creature Movie Reviews because I was worried, well, there's not enough Bigfoot movies. I got to do all kinds of creatures, which I'm glad I did. But still, I could have easily named the channel Bigfoot Movie Reviews and done only Bigfoot movies and be doing this for years. But
Creature leaves it open in many different ways. I've had Dave Coleman on. He has a Bigfoot filmography book, like this big yellow book. You'd be surprised. Well, you know, there's so many. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of movies.
That book has like you try and trick it, you know, and you're like, well, I wonder if that episode of Futurama where Bigfoot made an appearance is in there, and it is. You know, I think there's an episode of all these like random TV shows. Of course, you got the $6 Million Man. That episode's in there, and he has all the different. I mean, I don't know how many movies he has in that book, but it is a treasure trove of info for me and for anybody else. That's my number 1 book for sure.
I was surprised.
The man that killed Bigfoot and Hitler.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a trip too. There was one I found that was really cheesy, but I liked it. It was on Screenbox. It's that Cry Wilderness. I saw some people talking about it on there, saying they watch it every time they have a party to watch it. And I mean. And I watched it. I mean, I liked it, but yeah, it was cheesy and really like hard to watch at times. But I enjoyed it.
It's a little more of a kids movie. A little, yeah. Mystery Science Theater riffed it, so if you don't like it, just watch that version. It's way better. Yeah, but that one was okay. They also riffed another one more recently, or no, they did the Boggy Creek, The Legend Returns 2. They did that back in the original run, and that's probably the best way to watch that. Mystery Science Theater kind of improves every movie that they watch. You watch them by themselves, and yeah, you might fall asleep.
What was the Meatloaf one? I think I found that. I'm surprised how many things you can find on archive.org. Man, you can just get anything just about. I think I found that on there. What was the Meatloaf Bigfoot movie? And I found it because you mentioned it.
Yeah, so archive.org and Tubi is also a really good resource, and heck, even YouTube. A lot of people just upload videos, their own. Some of the directors upload their own movies, low budget independent movies on YouTube, which well worth a watch. But yeah, so Meatloaf did a movie back in the 90s called To Catch a Yeti, and it is as cheesy as it comes. It's very. The Yeti is 2-3 feet tall. I mean, he has big feet, but he's not what you think of as a Yeti. And chaos ensues. It's a kids movie, no doubt. But it's a movie. It exists. I don't remember what I officially gave it as a score, but it couldn't be more than 1.5 out of 4 stars. I mean,
3 feet tall.
It was a bit rough. Yeah, the Yeti gets smuggled into the United States, and then there's a rich guy who wants it for his kid, and the kid's just an absolute jerk. And then of course Meatloaf, yeah, Meatloaf is in there. And really my only experience, well, anybody's experience with Meatloaf, you got Meatloaf is three things. He's a singer, he's an actor, and you eat meatloaf. And I prefer to eat meatloaf, not to watch him on TV. But
his name is Robert Paulson.
That's right.
I always see him at freaking Fight Club. That's now what ingrained in my head forever.
And that's how I saw him too, watching To Catch a Yeti. Was there's Bob, and obviously he's a much different character, but he is funny, and you can tell that he ad-libbed in that movie, and he just went off the rails. He was yelling at kids, and just had to be fun.
So, what have you been up to lately with these creature features? What have you been watching?
Lately,
really good stuff that you're like, wow, this is great, or you don't, or even if not.
Sure. Well, a lot of monster movies are cheesy. They just are, or maybe that's just what I gravitate towards. But all month of August, this month, I've been watching the Tremors movies. Now,
fun. I have
there's
all those, yeah.
Sure, there's 7 movies and a 13-episode TV show. It's a lot of Tremors. There's, I mean, how many times can you do Worm in the Ground come up?
Yeah, graboids.
I even have that series too. I got it.
The TV show surprised me. It did. I was expecting it. I mean, it was on Sci-Fi. It had almost no actors from the original. It only had Michael Gross and the guy who played Melvin, whatever his name was. So Bert and Melvin were the only returning characters. So nobody had faith in this. But the behind the scenes, a lot of the original people that did the first one, like S.S. Wilson and some of the other people actually were still involved, and they had their heart in it. So the TV show was great. Currently, I think I've watched them all. So 1 through 7. I think they progressively get probably a little worse as you go. 1's the best one, and then by the time you get to the end. But what do you expect? But honestly, they're surprising me. And Michael Gross is in all of them, except for 2 episodes of the show, because they had him doing Tremors 4. So the dude was so busy with Tremors, he didn't have time for Tremors.
Nice.
As far as I'm concerned, Part 1 is one of the best movies ever made. It's up there as far as that genre.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a classic. It's funny. It's got everything. It's got Reba.
Yeah. I love Reba, actually. My wife watched the Reba TV show, and I was like, I'm not watching that. I don't have time for that. So I was on my computer doing something, and I'd hear it in the background, so I'd chuckle. And then pretty soon I'm working in the living room, and then pretty soon I'm just watching the whole show.
Not bad. It's not awful.
Somebody on Facebook had said there was one of those posts, what scared you when you were a kid, and they named Tremors as one of those, the movie that scared them when they was a little kid. Mine was Night of the Living Dead. I was always like looking under beds and stuff after seeing that one. But Tremors,
I remember being as a young. That came out probably when I was 10. I'm 40 now. I remember that kid that found the first one that got on the axle of the car that was laying dead in the store. He came in there acting like it was on his neck. Mm-hmm. I remember that scar in my brain. I remember that scene.
They were charging $5 to get a picture with it.
Yeah, he came running in there with it.
I was thinking about this the other day. I remember seeing Event Horizon in theaters. And you remember Event Horizon? It's a trippy movie, pretty.
That's a wild one for sure.
So if I saw that in theaters, that was 1997. I would have been 6. My parents took me to see that movie when I was 6. I don't think they watched the trailer. There's no way. That one's.
They just saw a guy from Jurassic Park and took his spit.
Yep. Well,
it's gotta be good. It's got Sam Neill.
Of course.
I remember going to the theater with a friend, and we were there to see something, but for some reason I ended up in that Communion Christopher Walken Whitley Strieber movie as a kid by myself. Like, that's alien in itself.
That's a scary movie too. It's weird, but got some scary moments.
It's really good. Christopher, what are you doing with that probe? What are you doing?
Dancing with aliens.
Yeah. And I'm excited about the Creepshow series season 4. It's like it took a long time that they're doing it. That's coming out in October. I'm excited about Chucky. I like the Chucky show. That's pretty good. That's coming out in October. So I like shows too, but movies. So what else is in your bag of tricks?
Well, I don't know. I probably have over 300 reviews up right now, and it's anything between. Yeah, I did
go to your page.
Yeah, sure.
What is your link? What is your link for everybody?
I don't. It's just creature movie reviews on YouTube. You see a
Okay.
picture of me on there, but
Mhm.
so I did. I've done all the greats. I did Jurassic Park. I did all of them up to Dominion. I think Fallen Kingdom was the newest. Am I getting that right? But so yeah, I was watching all the Jurassic Park movies. I love those as a kid. It's the only movie, the first Jurassic Park, that I gave a perfect 4 out of 4 on. I think it deserves it. Now, Tremors, the first one, I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 4. I mean, it's good. It's really good. And then I got all the way down to some of the I have given a 0 out of 4. I've given a half out of 4. I know the one of that was Terror at Bigfoot Pond. Oh, it's a bad
Mm.
one. Can't get through that one. But
Mhm.
there's surprising movies out there. There's all kinds. I know one thing you actually kind of recommended to me was From. So my wife and I sat down. We watched From, and what a weird, good, but
That's an
just like
amazing show.
they just make it weirder and weirder. It's almost to the point where I
Hmm.
was like, you got to solve some answers, but like you got to answer some questions before you make more. I'm
Yeah.
getting too much here, but yeah, that last the season
Yeah, it's a
finale
lot.
really left it open.
Are they dead? And it's a lot. I think it definitely it's like a satanic lost.
Lost.
It's
Yep,
like
for
I said it's
sure.
Walking Dead and Lost mixed together.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I know those extro movies. I have all those. Those are pretty weird. Those are like alien type movies. Extro, XTRO.
Yeah, British movie, or 80s or 70s movie. But the funny thing about that is that has the scene. He's an alien, but you see him on the side of the road, and somebody took that picture, kind of made it look blurry and grainy, and that's the Skinwalker picture you see online all the time.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that not
The-
too long ago. Someone was passing it around as that.
Yep, yep. No, it's just a movie. It's just from Extra. Extras. I haven't seen 2 or 3, but it's a weird movie.
Yeah, they're weird for sure. I didn't know it was British. So. And another one I have laying around that I'm noticing here that I need to watch. I actually bought it and I just never watched it. Laser Blast. Is that a full moon movie? Laser Blast? I can't remember if it's full moon.
It is now. Yeah, they definitely re-released it and they cleaned it up. I know they did a Blu-ray. It looks really good. I don't know who originally did it, but Laser Blast is well worth a watch, if only for the stop motion aliens they have in it. It's really well done. But again, that's a Mystery Science Theater, so I kind of recommend you just do that. It has the sheriff. The sheriff is, I can't remember his name, but he's Principal Moss in King of the Hill. He's the voice of him, and he's done a lot of other stuff. He does a good job in the movie.
I'll have to check it out. I know I just saw the full moon subspecies Blood Rise. It was actually decent. Have you seen the
Mm,
subspecies full moons? They're all on
mm.
screen. They're all on Screenbox, but they're pretty good vampire flicks that are actually pretty good. Sometimes there's some cheese. There's boobies for sure, but Radu is the
Movies.
vampire,
I'm in.
and Radu is the vampire.
Cheese and boobies?
And he has and he has a little. There's like little goblins and stuff running around, but they just made a new one called Subspecies Blood Rise. That screen box is really cool. It's by the
Check it out.
guys from BloodyDisgusting.com, and it's only $5 a month. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of weird crap on there. Like that's how I found Cry Wilderness by accident on there. And I was like, "What is that?" And I watched it. But who's playing the drums? I hear some drums. Sometimes I hear drums. We've heard them before. Was that you?
That's weird.
Were you doing hand stuff?
No,
Bobby?
I'm holding my hands up.
That is weird. Yeah, I heard it too for sure.
We've had that happen before. I'm not saying it's drums or fan. I don't know what it is.
Indian burial ground.
By you?
Only no, I'm just saying Indian burial ground. Going through. You must be on top of one.
Yeah, it must be you.
One night, me and Wham were here, and we heard porno noises, like someone watched a porno, like the noise you hear from a porno just come over the show. I'm like checking to make sure it's not like something open, nothing. I don't know where the hell it came from, but
I want the ghost you have.
Yeah. Ghost likes to party.
Yeah.
Ghost wearing a men's tuxedo T-shirt.
So what? I'm trying to think. I've been watching so many weird things.
Well, you mentioned full moon and full moon, and you mentioned good in the same sentence, and those are rarely put together. Full moon movies they're interesting, they're fun, but they're rarely good. A couple of those that I just watched recently. One was The Killer Eye. and they gave the camera to David Dakota, who should never have a camera. He also did another Bigfoot versus DB Cooper of all movies, and
Oh, I
What?
always seen that.
it is.
Writing it down now. Thank you.
Yes, it. Don't watch it. No, it's not worth your time. So David Dakota is a prolific director. He's openly gay, and that shows in these movies. Bigfoot versus DB Cooper is exactly what it sounds like. And to be honest, it is what it is. It makes sense. DB Cooper flew into, as everybody knows, he hijacked a plane, stole a bunch of money, jumped into the wilderness above Washington, and who's rumored to be in Washington woods, Bigfoot. So why
Bigfoot.
didn't he get stopped by Bigfoot? But then there's also a lot of men just stripping down to their underwear for no reason, and a lot of stuff that I'm not into as a Bigfoot movie lover. But hey, if you're into it, good for you.
You have a lot of weird movies I've never heard of them. The
I
Bigfoot Encounter. I mean, I'm pretty well versed with it. I'm finding stuff on Sasquatch. I've never heard of that. Bigfoot: The Unforgettable Encounter. I've never heard of that. It looks like military with the Bigfoot. What is that? That was from 6 months ago. Bigfoot: The Unforgettable Encounter.
Let me look. I see so much of them.
It's you piggybacking a Bigfoot.
Oh, that's with Zachary Ty Bryan, the dude from Home Improvement, Brad from Home Improvement. That's another kids Bigfoot movie. I like to watch horror movies, obviously, but a lot of kids movies come into the mix. And yeah, that has him from Home Improvement, and then it also has Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother, who's in like every '80s movie somehow.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I just saw him in something. I don't even remember what it was.
he's in all of them, and then it has Matt McCoy, who has been in 2 or 3 Bigfoot movies. He's the guy. Honestly, I recognize him from the AARP commercials, and you'd probably hear him from them. But he was in that. Basically, it's a like I said, it's a kids movie.
Kids
But
movie.
they some rich guy wants to capture Bigfoot, and he befriends him, and the kid befriends him, and they have antics and go around. But it's okay if you want to watch it with kids. Sure, it's very '90s.
Sounds cheesy.
I like
Ron
to watch.
Howard's
Zachary Ty
brother was
Bryan.
just in Star Trek, the new Star Trek, one of those Star Trek, Stranger Worlds or something. He's in that, I believe.
He'll
Ron
do
Howard's
anything.
brother.
Yeah, for sure. I like to watch the movies that are a little bit less heard of because a lot of you can search for anything, any popular Bigfoot movie. Bigfoot's not a very popular character, but it's growing. Exists is probably the most popular Bigfoot movie. It's the only one I know of that's been in theaters fairly, when it first came out, and it's how many other reviewers have checked it out. So I try and keep it a little more obscure, a little bit.
Mhm.
The idea is that you watch the entire movie when you watch my review in 10, 12 minutes, and then you don't have to waste your time with all the filler and all this plot lines that don't matter and all that stuff. So I watch it so you don't have to watch it, I guess.
I saw recently.
Exists is a classic.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
How was Bigfoot Trap? Because I just saw that on streaming. I didn't watch it, but I went past it on a streaming place somewhere just recently. Bigfoot Trap, is that decent or horrible?
Yeah. Yeah, it's middle of the road. It's not bad. It's a little bit better than I was expecting. It's I mean, again, it's the title gives it away. They make a Bigfoot trap. It's more of man versus man. It's not man versus Bigfoot very much. So don't get your hopes up for that. But it is interesting. It's not bad. I gave it a solid. I mean, I don't know, maybe 3 out of 4. Worth a watch.
There's one here, Evil in the Woods. That looks crazy as hell. I've never heard of that. That looks like it has some wild special effects.
Yeah. Let me make sure I'm.
It's,
Yeah, for sure.
2 months ago, it's like a kid screaming with some crazy going on.
It's
Sounds familiar.
I can't call it a kids movie, but it is. It's kind of like the Neverending Story horror edition. There's a kid reading a book the whole time, and the story is the book, and there's these. They're filming a Bigfoot document or a Bigfoot movie, and they come across these people who live in the woods. There's a witch, and they transform into these weird monsters, and I that's as well as anybody can describe that movie. Honestly, it's a weird one. There's really nobody that famous in it and stuff, but it's very 80s, very fun, not too serious, but you know, middle of the road.
Looks good for stonerness.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Bobby. Any movies you want to ask about, or
Oh, I've got a selfish rabbit hole I'm holding on to. My favorite one of these I wanted to talk about Cloverfield because I'm like a closet fan of that. I'm waiting
Yeah.
on just the fifth shoe to drop and maybe get it some closure. But I really like part one. The other two, they're kind of shoehorned in there. But
So, how do you guys feel about found footage as a movie
I really
genre?
like it if it's done well.
Hmm.
I think it's a really good genre. So if it's stupid and just like we just did all this crazy stuff and it was found footage with no quality, I'm out. But you give me VHS, you give me Exist, Blair
Hmm.
Witch, VHS 2, uh, Cloverfield.
I'm
I'll take them
iffy
all
on
day.
it. If it's good, I like it. I like Willow Creek. I like Exist.
Mm-hmm.
Subject. I recommend seeing that when you can. That I really love that. I thought it was really good. Uh, I know some of those old ones like McPherson. There's another weird alien
Hmm.
one. Those weird old ones. They're interesting. Yeah, I want to see Outwaters. That's supposed to be really good. That's on Scream. It's found footage, a horror that looks crazy as hell. That has decent reviews. I haven't seen it yet. It's on there. It's called The Outwaters. So I like it, but there's definitely a lot of like sometimes when you watch some of it, you're like,
Yeah,
okay.
found footage is one of those things they always say you have to know the rules before you can break them. And found footage movies is the classic example of that because the good ones know what they can do and know what they can't do, and like this, it's obviously not a traditional movie with the background shot with the cuts.
Hmm.
It's just jump cuts, possibly
Hmm.
just there's the inevitable shot where the camera lands on the ground, you see a foot.
For sure.
But the
No
the
music.
good ones are done right. Yeah, no music, and if there is, it's in the credits and like it's
Hmm.
playing from a boombox, like that Sean Kingston song in fucking Cloverfield. Oh shit, sorry. Yeah.
It happens. It's
Nah.
okay.
Beep. You're way too beautiful, girl. It's
The
like the
F
only
one's
Cloverfield song.
the F one's the worst one, so we're good.
Yeah.
I know recently we keep talking about found footage, but I just watched 3 movies in a row, and in one day, Happy Death Day to You, and then The Blackening, all in one day. Those were all pretty good. Those
Huh.
are like
Blackened.
slasher movies. There's some time travel elements. The Blackening has like amazing reviews, and
Huh.
they're good, worth checking out. But go ahead about found footage. If you got anything else, more.
No, just either people are really one way or the other. You either love it or you hate it. People get sick. I heard
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people didn't like Cloverfield for that reason. Obviously, the Blair Witch kind of started it all, even though it wasn't the first. I do think the McPherson tape was the first Alien found footage. Um, it's really cool how that kind of just went around because back then it was literally tapes that people would get. Maybe mailed to them and stuff. You pop in this tape, you think it's real. You think they're even though the aliens are obviously, kids with rubber masks on, they didn't know that back then. It is creepy, and that is effective for found footage. Now, to nowadays, like you make a movie in 2023, and you say, this was found by the police, and they're submitting this to the public so they can get more information. No, you're not. Like you're not tricking me anymore. You got me to the Blair Witch. I stayed out of the woods for a couple months because of that movie, but then it's like okay, it wasn't real. When Blair Witch 2 Book of the Shadows came out, it's like, oh, it was just to make money. Oh, I get it. So but I personally do like found footage. It's a kind of a guilty pleasure for
Mm-hmm.
me. And you mentioned Willow Creek. Willow Creek is and that's another movie that people either love or hate. There's no in between. And I think a lot of people don't like that tent scene where the main characters are just hanging out in the tent and they hear sounds all around them and stuff. But you gotta think. I personally liked it. You gotta think there was a small crew in that movie. You had the main guy, the main actor Bryce Johnson, and then the girl,
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name, but and then you had Bobcat Goldthwait, who was out in the woods making Bigfoot sounds in Bigfoot territory. This is where Patterson and Giblin filmed that footage. So anything could have happened to him. It had to be scary. He's out there pounding sticks and he's out there whooping and howling. And that's I give the guy some credit for that. I I wouldn't be able to do it. And I heard they did 2 or 3 takes of that. It's about a 20-minute scene. They did 2 or 3 takes. I think they did like the first or second one. So they weren't out there all night filming for sure.
Have you seen Bobcat Goldthwait's that movie God Bless America?
No.
Check it out when you can. I love it. It's crazy. It's definitely nuts. It's about a guy that snaps and he starts killing right-wing personalities, like on the news and stuff.
Oh, jeez.
It is insane, but it's crazy as hell. But Bobcat Goldthwait was doing this show on True TV that was kind of like a Tales from the Crypt kind of thing. I guess they canceled it. I forget the name of it, but it was like little stories, like Tales from the Dark Side and stuff like that.
Cool.
I forget the name of it. I'm too lazy to look it up right now, but it was good. There was another found footage alien movie because I came across it, but I'm trying to find the name of it. I'll have to let you know. But there's like an old other some kind of. There's one about the Jersey Devil that's old. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, there's one the Jersey Devil one, but it wasn't actually. There was no Jersey Devil in it. It was, what was that movie? It was.
It's like one. It's like a. I don't know, but I know. Here's that one I was talking about: alien abduction incident in Lake County. That's a weird found footage one.
I've heard of that. Yes.
That's from a 1998 TV movie.
The Last Broadcast is the Jersey Devil one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, and that kind of disappointed me because you didn't really
even know if I've seen it.
I think it was notable for being one of the first movies to broadcast to theaters. Like they didn't. I don't quote me on this, but I think they either sent it via like satellite or maybe internet or something, or maybe they just sent them the Blu-rays. This film was not involved, but I know that. It was 1998. But yeah, and then there's also Alien Abduction, which is a found footage movie that's it's a newer one. It's in the late 2000s or in the 2000s. But it's notable because it has a camera that falls from space, which is really cool. It obviously wouldn't work because it would burn up before it does much of anything, but it falls all the way from space, and that's kind of neat to see. That might make you sick if you watch that.
I've seen that one. I forgot about it.
It's not bad. No, it's not bad. It has a really eerie scene where the family it's early on. I try not to spoil anything here, but the family's driving around. They kind of are lost. They have no cell phone, and they come upon all these just random cars that are abandoned. And there's police cars, there's an ambulance, and it's just kind of like, wow, if you were driving out there and you had, maybe radio interference, and then all these cars just show up, no people, there's some crows flying around. It had some creepy moments, that's for sure. They were onto something.
Crows.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but
check it out.
Have you heard of one called Home Movie 2008 found footage? I'm hearing that's pretty good. It's called Home Movie from 2008. It was at IFC, and it's on Shudder right now. I haven't watched it yet, but it has good reviews, so that's one you might want to check out. Home Movie.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Little creepy kids situations.
And then there's also, to the other side of the coin, you have these fictional movies with Bigfoot and all these creatures and stuff. But I also like to check out documentaries too, just to kind of change it up or something. And I don't know if you guys know of any Bigfoot documentaries or any kind of creature documentaries off the top of your head. There's a few out there that are worth watching.
I just saw one Dogman Triangle. It's pretty good. It's on Tubi. It's by those guys, Small Town Monsters, that do all the documentaries, the ones that take weird towns that have had weird crap happen in them. And it's called Dogman Triangle. That's on Tubi. It was pretty decent. You want a really crazy UFO one, those Missing 411 ones by David Paulides. There's one UFO Connection. That one, this is a cop. I've interviewed him like 6 times, and there really are people being taken and weird stuff happening in these parks that's insane. Like crazy stuff. Like someone's gun will be on a mountainside and their backpack will be like in a field. Like their stuff gets weirdly separated. They find the bodies. It's like something dropped them.
They threw that one guy out.
Yeah, talking about and then
17 feet in the air, just chunked him out.
Yeah, and I think there's aliens or black ops or something taking people. But basically, this guy's a cop that really are investigating these he really investigates these cases. And then he used to never mention paranormal. One time I asked him about Bigfoot because he's wrote Bigfoot books. David Pilates. I asked him about Bigfoot. He goes, Jeffrey, I can't ask families tell them anything about Bigfoot because they'll think I'm crazy and they're grieving and doesn't want to bring up Bigfoot. But basically alluded that some of those cases may be connected to that. And he never talked about paranormal. Well, in that Missing 411, The Hunted, and Missing 411, UFO Connections, he done jumped the shark and gone full-blown paranormal.
He's got a series now on YouTube. It's like 100 hours. It's a Bigfoot series. It's like a lecture, a 400 level college lecture. And it's hours of footage, hours of stuff.
You know what that series has done to me? It has made me keep a close eye on my kids out in the woods.
Yes.
Anytime I go out, I'm like, no, we don't turn away for a second. You know where they are at all times.
You never know.
That's why I worry about them wanting us all to go outside and play UFOs now. So that kind of worries me a little, you know. I don't think I'm going out this time. I'll stay in.
If I'm out there by myself, sure, you can abduct me, but just don't take my family, I guess.
Yeah. There's crazy going on so many levels. We just can't even, it's too much to keep up with at one time. Have you ever seen those creep shows on I know you've seen the movies. I love those. I don't know if I've seen the third one. I say it's terrible, but they did the series on Shudder. There's three seasons. There's 3 seasons, and there's a 4th season. They're decent. They're not horrible. I mean, some of them are better than others, but I'll take my creep show fix any way I can get it. I've been getting the comics from Image. They put out 1 through 5 creep show, and now they're about to do another volume 2. So those are really fun. They're just the little stories in the comics, kind of like the creepy comic in the movies when you read it. But have you seen those creep shows at all? The movies or the series?
The movies, yeah, of course, back in the day. But no, I haven't seen the show. I know they were bringing it up and it was all over and stuff, but I haven't sat down and watched it yet. I need to, for sure.
It's on season 4 this October. It's worth watching. I love the anthology stuff. Like, I cannot get enough of it. I'm doing Black Mirror now.
It's nice. It's perfect for movie format, too, because you got an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe to play a movie. And that's sometimes that's too much time.
Dark side. I love that.
Yeah.
Monsters. We need Monsters. You ever see Monsters, the old one, the show that was really weird? Look it up. Steve Buscemi was in it.
Oh, cool.
It's called just Monsters. Let me see that's one. If you've never heard of it, you need to check that one out. It is just the weirdest damn thing. Monsters series 19. Let me see what I have it on. Monster series 1988. Look that up, and it's got Steve Buscemi. It's like a Tales from the Dark Side. You can get it pretty cheap, like $30 or something probably. I don't know, but it's really crazy. Like every episode has crazy monsters in it that are just weird.
It's fun. That's what makes it fun, for sure. There's also the Lost Tapes show that was on Animal Planet back in the early 2000s.
I have some of those on DVD. Yeah,
that's a lot of fun too. They do a good job of doing some weird out there cryptids, and obviously the show's it's not real, but they, in a half hour they do a good job of giving a story. It's fun. I'll definitely check out that Monsters. That looks fun.
It is really good. Tales from the Dark Side is really good too in the movie.
Yeah,
those are good. Those are creepy too. That Black Mirror, man. That first episode, I was like, "What am I getting into?"
Yep.
The dude from Penny Dreadful that plays Frankenstein's in it, and he's in that movie Men. That's really weird as hell. You ever see Men?
With the pig?
The Black Mirror pig episode. But there's a movie that guy who was in Penny Dreadful was Frankenstein, I know. But he was also in this movie. It's called Men. It's by the guy that did Annihilation with Natalie Portman and stuff. Alex Gardner or something. I don't remember his name. But Men is just the weirdest damn thing. It's really weird. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. It's one of those kind of movies. Like, it's like Beau is Afraid. Like, what the hell just happened to me watching that?
If you like Black Mirror, that Cabinet of Curiosities is good too.
Yeah, I've seen all those.
Heard of that?
Gerald Felicio del Toro, whatever his name.
Guillermo del Toro. That's his show.
You know.
That's good.
They're all the same.
Cabinet of Curiosities is good.
If you want a weird, well, it's a movie, but a weird Bigfoot movie, Uncle Boomy who can recall his past lives.
I've heard of that. I need to write
It's
it down though, because I'll forget it again for a million years.
it has its moments. It's not English. I think it's Taiwanese or something, but um, it has watch it for a scene around the dinner table. I guess that's all I'll say. But there's a whole thing in there where if animals mate with a human, they will turn into that animal, and maybe it's a culture difference. I'm sure it is, but there is just some weird stuff going on in that movie. But I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Boom me.
Uncle Boomy, who can recall his past lives, and to my knowledge, I don't think he recalls any past lives in the whole movie. But whatever,
I actually have that movie somewhere on the hard drive.
check it out. It's weird.
Definitely a weird one for sure.
Yeah.
Shudder has a lot of weird Japanese type horror movies I've never heard of. Just weird, like Evil Dead type weird stuff. I need to watch all that. But so I want to know what Bobby watches as weird. What's the weirdest thing you just like this is weird? What's going on with
No, lately I've been into, like you said, From, and I watched some crazy stuff, and now that you ask me, I can't think of a single thing. But I'll tell you one that got weird that wasn't expecting was last year was the one with Josh Brolin, Outer Range.
I didn't
with
watch
the time
it.
travel.
I was going to, but didn't.
Dude, time traveling buffalo. It was so good. And like it just, and the twist at the very last of the last episode, like what? It has like Lost meets Yellowstone.
Oh, cool.
Check it
Like
out.
From meets Yellowstone.
What about Night Sky? Did you see that? I want to see that on Amazon. That's like got the dude that plays Jameson on the Spider-Man movies, and he's been.
Is it the guy from the We've Seen a Thing or Two because we did this thing or two?
Invincible? He's
the old man
in the cartoon. Yeah, the old man superhero. But he, I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's like Sissy Spacek and him, and somehow there's a portal in their yard to another universe. And
it's in a bomb shelter he made.
You saw it?
Yeah, I've watched a couple episodes. It's a little slow, but it's
good reviews.
Yeah, it's not bad. But it's one of those things I started on like a Saturday afternoon and kind of forgot about. But yeah, it's I know it's good because it's basically he's an old man living. He's living like an old man. He's 70, and they're just like going through. We're too old to go down there, pops. You'll have to move in a home. And he's like, I don't want to move in a home. There's a portal in the yard. That's basically
the gist of it, huh? Well, what do you guys think about? We have all this stuff going on right now with aliens and UFOs and disclosure and Congress and all that stuff. Where do you think we're at with Bigfoot when it comes to that? Do you think that we're going to have some kind of disclosure? Is there a possibility? Does it even exist? What do you think is going to go on with that in real world?
I think real world, the reports are going up because I talk to Bigfoot people every week, and I think it's getting more open-minded. Everybody's getting more open to the fact that it's not just an ape that's hiding out. It could be something more.
Paranormal-ish.
I don't know what more, but if you had two options, an ape no one's found in 40 billion years, or a paranormal alien-like dimension hopper, it's almost the dimension part that no clipper would be more accurate or more possible. So I think we might get an inkling of a revelation if we ever get more of the alien stuff.
Yeah. They might go hand in hand. I don't think they could give it to us all at once. That's just too much. But hey, say, UFOs exist. And then 50 years later, they'd be like, well, they've been working with Bigfoot too.
I think we'll get a clue. If we go any more, like maybe we get bodies, maybe we'll get like a clue. Like, and there may be some other stuff on Earth. What was that?
Yeah. That would be ideal. Ideally, if you're going to find a body though, I mean, with YouTube and Facebook Live and all that stuff, like somebody just be like, I don't know. No matter what you do, people are gonna say it's a hoax. I mean,
well, with bodies, I meant like the alien bodies. If they showed us alien bodies, if we got to that level of disclosure, I think there'd probably be a clue given somewhere in there. But as far as Bigfoot bodies goes, I don't think we're ever going to find them. I think I think they force ghost or clip out when they die. Something happens.
Well, you got the reports of like the predator, the glimmer,
the cloaking.
Like yeah, there's some weird ones, weird stories that, the flesh and blood theories all fine and good, but those weird ones are fun.
Well, the what got me is when I started interviewing guys who were 50, 60, 70 years old from every point of the country, living out on the mountain in the swamp, and they can barely work the phone they were talking to me on, but they all said the exact same story, the exact same experiences, and just like they were, it's like they coordinated it, just almost just paraphrased.
But they
And
couldn't.
they're yeah, and all of those are they're all the paranormal stuff is what they see. In and out, cloaking, the halo or silhouettes.
Hmm.
They come in and slap the side of the house at night.
Skinwalker Ranch stuff. It's the
Yeah,
same stuff's reported there.
yeah. It's almost Skinwalker Range is almost like a playbook that you could take and write a table of contents down
Yeah.
and say that's how Bigfoots and aliens possibly work.
I mean, hey, let's get to it. But hey, what happened when Congress was like, yeah, we don't know what's going on here. They do TikTok videos, they do the whole thing.
Yeah.
How did people react? Everybody that I saw was like, hey, yeah, aliens exist, cool, but what are you gonna do about inflation?
Yep.
Like
That's
nobody
what they
nobody
did.
cares about aliens anymore.
Like, hold on, we'll call you back.
Yeah. No,
Tell aliens we'll call them back.
maybe they can help us with that. Get us
Hmm.
some housing or something.
I couldn't imagine a worse time to have disclosure.
Well, maybe that's on purpose.
Yeah, it's definitely on purpose.
I think their Black Ops section with this stuff that really run the show on many levels that don't want things out like they may have been supposedly. And there was a deal with Eisenhower with extraterrestrials for
Yeah.
technology in exchange of aliens being able to possibly take people, abductions and stuff. I mean, what if some of that stuff's true? A lot of people think it is. I don't know if it was. I wasn't there at the Eisenhower alien meeting, but I mean, there could be weird stuff like that they don't want. They're afraid it's going to come out. So that's why I heard some of the witnesses to those testimonies were harassed. Certain people didn't
believe
want them there. So it's like I had UFO encounters after testicular cancer and my dad dying, and I had them so much it seemed like I was attracting them on some level. And I don't know if I've ever been taken or abducted. If so, I don't remember a damn thing. But I've had UFOs over my house in multiple houses in multiple locations when I've moved in Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida. It follows me, and witnesses see it. And it's like weird stuff over you where you're like, is that here because of me? And it feels like it is, but you don't want to be like Heaven's Gate and let it go to your head or whatever. But it seems like they're there because of you on some level or for the whole neighborhood. I don't know. But my point is, during that time that I was having the experiences, some type of silent vehicle came out over the house, and a man that looked like Top Gun with Air Force crap on waved at me mockingly, and it shot away silently. And it was almost like some type of agency came out to monitor the situation because they showed up on the radar, the UFOs. And I don't know, but there's weird stuff on many levels. Jerry Avalos, a guest of mine, he doesn't think it. He 100% believes that he was kidnapped by some of these type of people. It goes on. There's weird levels to it, I don't try to get too kooky with it, but trust me, there's kookiness for sure with this.
Sure.
There's different levels. We just had a guy on Robert Earl White that in the 90s a UFO exploded behind his house. I forget the case name now, but it was in New Jersey, and the Men in Black came out in the early 90s and told his mom, if you don't say it was it's a helicopter that crashed, and if you tell anybody else different, we'll take your child. Made her draw 3 extraterrestrials and basically threatened them. And then after, the whole neighborhood had it happen, and it was a New Jersey. I have the Lower or something. His site's on YouTube. Yeah, that's it. And he was on, and basically, Men in Black weren't even on television yet. I don't think X-Files or nothing like that. They came out and threatened him and his family. And his mom died, and now he's involved with Greer and the whistleblowers for UFO crash retrieval. And he was just on, and the stuff he talked about was bone chilling. That it's almost like they came in and told her that they were really aliens, that they take people, they abduct them, they hypnotize the mom, threaten them, and I mean, it's creepy.
What was this called?
For this, the case.
Is there a show or something?
Let me find his YouTube.
I listened to your interview with him. I think that was either the last week or the week before.
Yeah,
But it was really interesting. He did a good job of it describing everything. I mean, the weather conditions for the night, it was rainy, cloudy, what the craft looked like.
What
It
was his
was
name?
more
Robert Earl White, Church of Mabus. You can find it. His YouTube page is Robert Earl White, Order of Light. He was on that Laura Eisenhower show. That's how I
mm,
kidnapped him off of there. I don't really know her that good. I've interviewed her a long time ago, but he was on that show. But Church of Mabus, Robert Earl White. It's definitely crazy. There's a lot of levels of this stuff. And to think that these beings come in here and do that, and they've known it since the 90s, and they may have possibly even worked with them and all that, it's a lot.
I'm sure. And my favorite part about that interview was he goes into all that detail, and then he says his mom called 911. And this is like halfway through the interview, and then he's like, and then things get crazy. And it's like, wait, you just told us this whole UFO explosion, and now you're saying things are getting crazy? Like, no, they've been crazy for a while, bud.
He said he was 3 when all that happened. I was like, I'm guessing the family told the story so many times he remembers it, because I don't remember a damn thing when I was 3.
I know, I don't remember.
So
Yeah,
that
that's
kind of
tough.
confused me about it. But I could see if family's telling it all his life and they're sharing the story, that's what he's building the narrative on. But definitely interesting, you know.
For sure. And you mentioned Eisenhower. Eisenhower had his presidency 1953 to 1961. I just looked it up. So since the 60s, does that, I mean, that kind of makes sense. There's been a technology boom, 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, right from there and where we're at now. So maybe some deal was made. Who knows? I don't
There's a
know.
book by that Corso guy about Roswell, claims that's pretty much what goes on. That we pretty much reverse engineer all this stuff. He's like a colonel. Just it's a whole book about it, like about all that stuff. Reverse engineer says basically we got our cell phones from aliens and all this stuff. Like it's some well known. I think I have it here somewhere. I never read it, but it's somewhere around here. There's a
Well,
lot
what's
of books
next?
like that.
Well, you know what kind of what are they reverse engineering now? You know, I want to hop
Yeah.
in on that Futurama kind of technology.
What's
Well,
100 years? What's 100 years advancement is what we have now.
Hmm.
Because I kind
I
of want to buy some of it.
on Microsoft News, I'll see an article saying scientists are opening portal. Like what? And I have to go back and say, what did I just read? And to go to it, it's like a real article about scientists opening portals. It's like, so what is going on?
I don't know.
Everything's crazy.
We've had a lot of movies and video games about portals that didn't end so well.
Yep.
But on the other hand, you know, hey, if I could open up a portal and eat pizza in Italy, hey, let's do it.
Think of the DoorDash.
That's
They'd be
what I'm
gone.
wondering if they're going to do on Skinwalker Ranch. Like, are aliens going to come out of a portal and take like Travis and all them away? Or are they going to? I mean, the last season they admitted there's like a base there, and they don't know if it's a modern base or from an ancient civilization. It's like they ended that whole thing with the governor and the attorney state general and all these, the Bigelow dude, and the whole thing ended with like they're all agreeing and have thermal imaging that there's a freaking base under Skinwalker Ranch. Is this shit going to end like, you know, like the Twilight Zone? Everybody dies on air. like it's
Wouldn't
See
that
what
be
crazy.
something?
skin start melting off.
Like this is the weirdest TV I've ever seen. That's supposed to be real, supposedly.
You know, I feel like by the time anything happened in Area 51, Area 51 was old news. You know, they were in some deep underground base at that point and stuff. So Skinwalker Ranch is probably the same thing. It's
Bigelow was there. He ransacked it. What would
yep.
he leave there? I'm sure there's something important. The Ark of the Covenant's still
There's
there after
right.
Bigelow. It's just, but no matter what, we can agree it's still crazy as hell that this
Sure.
is like even happening. Like, and I'm someone who's been through weird UFO stuff that has PTSD and trauma from it. Like, I have weird, and sometimes I wish it never happened. It alienates you. Now they're like trying to commercialize it.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's money to
It'll
be
be a
made.
ride for you know it.
Yeah.
It's like
Get abducted. Free anal probe.
People will pay money to do it.
you feel cheated. I'm like, we need a
TikTok
class
challenge.
action lawsuit, and they're all trying to get everybody outside to do it. I'm gonna sue
know.
somebody for this this alien crap that happened to me.
Yeah, but what if it did go? What if it did go super mainstream, and like we found out that there was a deal for the last 50 years, and so there's like this Camp Lejeune. Have you been? Have you been abducted by aliens since the 60s and you're entitled to payment?
Yeah, like reparations or something.
Yeah.
That'd be
Let's
funny.
not go
That'd be
there.
some wild. That'd be wild.
Yeah, we don't need that.
You never know.
Alien reparations.
It's
People are getting
possible. I
upset
mean,
now at this show.
I wouldn't be surprised in the least if that happened within the next 10 to 20 years. Have you been abducted since the 50s? Maybe entitled to compensation.
Eddie and Barney Hill. Do you know that story with
Sure.
James Earl Jones, the UFO incident? Have you ever seen that black and white crazy movie about Betty and Barney Hill with James Earl Jones? That's one to see if you can find it.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, that'd
kinda
be
hard to
cool.
find. It might be on YouTube or something.
They got abducted in, I think, New Hampshire. I have family up in Vermont, and so I think we went on that road that they got abducted on. It's a crazy story, and I'm not even sure those were aliens. Those might, because they said
They
they were
said they were
German
speaking
soldiers.
German. They've
Yeah,
been Nazis.
who
In
knows?
America. Like there's weird stuff about like a lot of people in the UFO scene, and I mean some of it could be true, I don't know. But they think that Nazis like still controlled everything, like in Antarctica and stuff and on the moon and and reptilians somehow did some crap with Nazis and they made UFO technology. Like there are people that really believe this. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there with Hitler and the aliens on the bay. So maybe it happened. I don't know. But
Hey, I work where I work. The buildings are all named after Nazis, so it's not too far out of the realm of possibilities.
Really?
I work on Redstone.
Work
Work on Redstone.
Okay.
Warner Von Braun
Oh, okay.
in
I
Huntsville.
really
I'm in
want to
Huntsville.
see. I want
I'm
to
in
see
Huntsville.
Oppenheimer. Has anyone seen Oppenheimer? I want to see it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
It was a masterpiece, is what it was.
I like Peaky Blinders.
It's a live work of art. I left it like feeling like emotional almost.
You saw Barbie too, didn't you?
I bootleg Barbie. I watched Oppenheimer in the theater.
You're going to jail tonight. Okay. But I haven't seen Barbie. I will watch Oppenheimer. I don't know about Barbie. Maybe I don't know. It's got Harley
Oppenheimer
Quinn.
in the theater
That's
though,
about the only thing I
masterpiece.
see going for is the Harley Quinn situation.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing. But
I'd rather watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood if I wanted to go see Margot.
I love weird old cartoons. Ralph Bakshi, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Fire and Ice. I have Frank Frazetta's granddaughter, Sarah. Why am I doing Sarah Frazetta coming on? There's a Fire and Ice prequel comic they're putting out right now that's really cool. There's a Mothman comic that's really good and has Frazetta's art for the covers, but she's coming on. I love old crazy stuff. Even Felix the Cat. There's a sequel to that. I don't even know if I've seen
Felix
the
the
sequel.
Cat.
Yeah, but old weird stuff, cartoons. There was just a weird fantasy cartoon that was, I forget what it was called, like Shoulder of Night or Splinter of Night or something. So I don't know. Oh, I know a weird one. Have you seen Mad God? That stop animation. Oh man, look that up. That is some weirdness. It's called Mad God. It's on Shudder. It's by a guy named Phil Tippett or something that did special effects for Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
Stop animation. I love stop animation. Like trying to find, like I found some really old or movies that are stop animation that are weird as hell.
That Santa Claus movie that stop animation was scary as it could be.
Talking about the old like Rudolph one?
No, the one where like Santa Claus was his origin story, and they had the warlocks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was like had like pagan rituals. Man, it was creepy.
I love that stop animation stuff. Just the time and the energy. That Pinocchio by Del Toro is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just the time and the energy. I mean, that's crazy.
Even the old Popeyes, the hand-drawn Popeyes, those are scary at times.
Yeah. James and the Giant Peach.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
For sure. I could watch those kind of movies all day.
Yeah, those are the good ones for sure. There's some really, I find a lot of them. Troll box trolls or something. That was one that was pretty good. That was on it's on Netflix, but stop animation. Like a lot of times, I'll put in stop animation and Google the movies and just find lists and stuff and find weird stuff. But there's a lot of weird stuff for sure. That stop animation, like puppets.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Did you check out that Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? I sent you with the weird
Oh my
puppets.
God.
Bobby,
Oh, I
That's
did.
crazy.
I watched bits and pieces. I didn't watch very much of it, but yeah, I did watch it. That was weird.
It's so terrifying.
Yeah.
it's supposed to be coming to Adult Swim somehow. Like they're making more of them. They're gonna put it on Adult Swim somehow.
Cool.
Yeah. It's on some channel in Britain, but so what's in the future for your movie watching? Still got about 45 minutes or something. If you need a break real quick or something, let me know.
No. Well, we could talk all night. So what's coming up? Like yeah, we're doing a big Tremors thing right now, but I try to do a Bigfoot and then Bigfoot monster movie. So every 2 videos a week, and the next one that's going to come out, I just kind of been editing it, is a John Landis movie called Schlock. It's his first movie. And it's a comedy. It's full blown comedy. He is the missing link. He's dressed up in the full ape costume, but the effects were done by Rick Baker, who has done countless special effects. And I'm gonna look it up just to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing.
I've seen it. It's been a long time. I know what you're talking about. I've come across that one.
But he has done the effects for Planet of the Apes, so he knows what he's doing. Men in Black. Rick Baker knows what he's doing, especially when it comes to monkeys.
A pro.
Yeah. So it's weird. Is it good? No, but if you're in the right mindset, it's all right. And then another movie series that I've been off and on getting into is Anaconda. So you had the first Anaconda, with J-Lo and all the people. It had actually some John Voight and Luke Wilson, had some big names in it, and I remember seeing that in theaters. And probably as a kid, I liked it. Probably freaked me out. But they made at least Anaconda 2, 3, and 4, and I saw 2. 2 went a different direction and kind of made this whole story up about a blood orchid, a plant that has life-saving capabilities, the fountain of youth, basically, and it's surrounded by anacondas. And then I just watched 3, and my goodness, I've never seen a series jump the shark as much as 3. Anaconda 3 has the genetically modified snakes in the labs, and they escape, and it's got David Hasselhoff in it. Anytime you see David Hasselhoff in a movie, you're in trouble. But it's just so generic and so like
swinging for the fences. Get the off.
It's a rough one to watch, and so I haven't watched Anaconda 4. I think they did a Lake Placid and Anaconda combo that might be kind of interesting to see. But so that's kind of what we're going into. And then come in October, because even on your show, October is a big month. October is a big month for everybody. I have an idea to go in my head and rewatch the House on Haunted Hill movies, only because those aren't really monster movies, more ghost or demon or whatever you want to say. But a movie 1999 came out. I saw it in theaters, just left an impression with me, and for some reason I watch it, the 1999 remake. I know it's not a great movie, but I watch it 2 or 3 times a year. I just love it for some reason.
That's a good one.
Why not talk about it? Yeah, and then the original with Vincent Price is always a fun one to watch. Vincent Price is amazing. Yes. And then there's a sequel to it that explains a little bit and stuff more about the house and all that stuff. But it's just the reason why I like that movie is because of the house. It was in the 1999 remake. It's an insane asylum. It's got everything you would want. It's gothic. It's creepy. And around the same year, 1999, The Haunting came out. Another movie I saw in theaters, which again, it's more focused around the house. That has Luke Wilson in it as well, and it's just a creepy.
They came out within months of each other.
Yeah, they did. I think. Well, the movie The Haunting is based off of the book House on Haunted Hill, and the House on Haunted Hill movie is based off of nothing, I don't think. But so somehow they got the rights for it. But I did read the book House on Haunted Hill, which
that's Shirley Jackson, right?
Yes, I believe so. I know it's Shirley something, and I actually liked the book a bit better, the way it ended and stuff. They left it a little bit more like it was all the main character Eleanor is she nuts? Did it really happen? What's going on? But it could have not been ghosts at all. But the movie was definitely ghosts.
Yeah, and the series is good by Flanagan on Netflix.
It is good.
I haven't seen Bly Manor. I need to watch that before House of Usher, which I know they're not connected, but Bly Manor, I haven't seen that one yet, but that House of Usher is coming out in October by him. It's Edgar Allan Poe situation. I'm looking forward to that. I love Midnight Mass. That was really good.
That's the one.
You have
yeah.
to watch the
Crazy.
Haunting of Hill House too.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same people.
The Haunting of Hill House.
It's a
Yeah, and
Netflix.
that
Yep.
and Bly Manor and Haunting of Hill House are the same actors.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
like-
haven't seen Bly Manor yet.
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
gotta
the-
watch them both, man.
I've seen the first one, the first season. That's the Haunting of Hill House, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I need to see Bly Manor. I've seen the first. I've seen Haunting of Hill House. I just haven't seen Bly Manor yet.
It's good. Yeah, no, it's good.
I like him. That Midnight Mass was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like
God, that
Midnight
was a good
Mass.
one.
That surprised
preacher
me.
was a great actor. I don't remember his name. I looked it up. My memory sucks, but he was a great actor. The preacher.
But
They all
then,
turned to crispy.
yeah, they had it coming. But and then the monster in that was really cool too.
Yep.
Did it survive?
I think they left it open ended.
Yeah.
Didn't they see it like burn up when they were out on the ocean?
I don't believe anything unless you see
debatable.
him dead. I don't
You
believe
just
it.
see
You
the
know?
body. You see the body. That's the rule of
I
thumb.
tell you what I want to see so bad is that Robert Eggers Nosferatu. The guy
Yeah.
that did The Witch and Lighthouse and all that. He's doing Nosferatu.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's his next thing. It's got that Lily Rose Depp or whoever in it. I don't know if this is Johnny Depp related to him. I have no idea. But it's Nosferatu. I think Skarsgård is Nosferatu. There's supposed to be a Nosferatu with that Doug Jones guy, the guy that plays the ape sapien. I think he did a Shape
Mhm.
of Water too, but with him as Nosferatu. But I have a Nosferatu thing. I collect little weird figures of Nosferatu at the stock because they get weird expensive. But Nika has a new Nosferatu coming out. Love the old original, and then the Klaus Kinski Nosferatu. I love that. That one's creepy. Little mummified babies at the beginning and stuff, and you know what? That one's unsettling. That Klaus Kinski, Werner Herzog Nosferatu. Have you seen that one? The color Nosferatu. It's got Klaus Kinski in it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He's in some other movies, but that I've seen. But
That is a crazy one. If you get a chance to see that, that's really good. It's by Werner Herzog Nosferatu, but it's good. It's really good.
I'm kind of lucky in a town right above by me. They have an old not accordion, a big piano, a big organ, and they will play that organ with Nosferatu. It's so cool to see it live, and they'll play some sound effects on it and stuff. So yeah, they do it every Halloween. I love going up there and just watching they play the Blu-ray release of it, so it's nice and crisp, and then he just plays the organ through the whole thing. It's an experience. It's fun.
Another one, Shadow of the Vampire, with William Dafoe and Malkovich. Oh, I could watch that.
That's fun.
anytime.
That was fun.
Yeah.
What a cool idea, what a unique way to spin a movie. The vampire is real.
I could watch that right now. I love that one.
And you mentioned Doug Jones. He's in a lot of he's the monster in a lot of movies. He was also in Love in the Time of Monsters, if you've ever seen that one. It's a Bigfoot. Well, Kane Hodder's in it too, actually.
Let me look that up.
I can't say it's a Bigfoot movie, but it's definitely a zombie Bigfoot movie. You got to see it to know what I'm talking about. But it's
I found it.
It's interesting. Doug Jones plays a doctor. He's Dr. Abraham because he's dressed up like Abraham Lincoln. It's kind of a comedy horror, but he does a great job in it, and Kane Hodder does a good job. It's not bad.
Huh.
Doug Jones plays Billy from Hocus Pocus.
Yes,
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Holy jeez. I'm watching like a Doug Jones montage right now. It's all Doug Jones.
Any kind of like thin, lanky creature is Doug Jones for sure.
He was that dude that opened his jaw real big in that ice cream truck scene. That one horror. I can't think of its name.
But Love in the Time of Monsters is that's a fun. I consider it a Bigfoot movie, so it's a fun one.
It's hard to find.
Yeah, I think I might have had a hard time finding it too. A lot of the movies I have to go through. You just have to go to
for
eBay.
rent on Amazon.
Is it? It's worth a rent, but
it's not even on torrents.
So
maybe it's on Tubi.
So that's always a backup. Sometimes you find movies at these Bigfoot conventions and stuff that I go to, and I've jackpot there a few times. I end up spending. I mean, they all want more than what they're actually worth, but You spend a lot of money, but sometimes you can find DVDs of them there. But yeah, for sure, if you find anything on YouTube or Tubi or anything, well, then you know it's free with ads at least.
The ads weren't that bad. I mean, it could have been
It could
worse.
be worse. Yeah, for sure.
I
There's
don't mind
also
ads.
Creature in the Woods. That's kind of a fun found footage one.
Huh. Creature in the okay, I see that right now. Creature in
Yeah.
the Woods on your
Oh,
side.
and then I'm kind of just going through some reviews too. We'll talk movies, but we're not quite ready for Christmas yet. But when Christmas rolls around, you should watch Pottersville.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good
That
one.
is amazing.
It's fun.
Furries and everything.
Uh
Pottersville. Let's
You
see
never
if
seen
that-
Pottersville? It's got Christina
I don't
Hendricks in it.
know. I don't
Uh,
know.
In her full Christina Hendricks glory.
huh.
I see. I've actually was going to watch it, but never did it because I like Michael Shannon.
Oh, it's got dude from Hellboy /
Yep.
Sons of Anarchy
It has a
and
14,
Reno
a
911 dude.
Yep.
14 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, don't listen to them.
Don't listen to that. Yeah. No, don't.
That movie is a classic.
All right, I have it somewhere. I'm
Watch
saving a
Watch it.
picture of it.
It's on Netflix.
Watch it at Christmas time. Wait a little bit. Watch it around.
I've watched-
It's Christmassy.
I saved the picture of it to remind me on my desktop.
I could watch it and Christmas Vacation year round.
I do bad or Santa around Christmas. Because I'm naughty. Bad or Santa. The second one was terrible. I don't know what they were thinking with the second one. It's horrible. Oh, I'll
Christmas
tell you one to
Chronicles.
see. This movie is by the guy that did Rare Experts. I guess he's like, I forget, Swedish or something. But I don't know if it's Swedish. Sisu. Have you seen Sisu? Sisu.
I've heard of it, but no, I haven't.
The Nazi
You
killer
gotta
movie?
see it. Yes. Have you seen it?
No, it's on my little list.
Oh man,
I've seen tons of trailers.
it is amazing. It is really good. I could watch it again right now. It's just this dude going crazy killing Nazis, and it's just crazy death scenes. Kind of remind me of the old Clint Eastwood, Good and the Bad and the Ugly, kind
Yeah.
of, but more octane. But yeah, SISU. Don't miss that one. It's really like a. He did Rare Experts too, which was like some Santa Claus weird horror movie called Rare Exports.
One movie that's worth watching. It's an old one. I think it's from the 70s, but it's Bigfoot or Sasquatch: The Legend of Bigfoot. And that one is really just a bunch of guys go out and they try to get capture a Bigfoot and do all that stuff. But the fun of the story is when they sit around the campfire and tell spooky stories, and they say real life encounters. Allegedly. So you have the Ape Canyon story that happened, and then you have the trapper scene that Teddy Roosevelt had mentioned. In his book, I think he mentioned about some trappers that got attacked by Bigfoot and stuff. So the highlight of that movie is for sure the stories around the campfire. The movie part is what it is. It's okay, but the recreations of some of the more famous Bigfoot acts. So if you haven't seen anything Bigfoot related, you're just starting with the subject. That's a movie I kind of recommend.
What was the full name?
Sasquatch: The Legend of Bigfoot. It's actually the first review I ever did.
It's on Tubi.
Yeah.
My mom used to talk about that she said they went and saw it before I was born.
Really, this movie?
It's old.
Wow.
I mean, it's older. It's 1976.
Yeah. Said they went and saw it like a drive-in when I was 4 years before I was born.
Just like Boggy Creek. Boggy Creek got popular because of drive-ins.
Mhm.
People would watch it. We have a drive-in in our town, and it is fun. It's open all the time. You just go. But I wish more of that was around still.
They have one here. You have to go to Alabama to get to it, but it's not that far from me, and it's really nice. Like, it surprised me, but it was like really good.
It's fun.
I forgot what I saw there. Top Gun, which is one of those kind of you have to. There wasn't much to choose from, so I had to watch Top Gun and Bullet Train. Bullet Train I preferred more than Top Gun. Yeah. Top Gun's always like a military recruitment tool, brainwashing to get more soldiers to die, no matter which way you watch it. But it was a cool drive-in. Oh, go ahead.
There's enough preachy movies out there, you know. Anything by James Cameron, you know, is going to be a preachy movie, except for maybe Titanic. But you know, there's a time and place for that, and I don't need it in my movie. That's one reason why I've been so into Tremors, is because it isn't preachy. It's just about fighting giant worms in the desert. Like they
Hmm.
don't even fight each other. You know, the human characters, they bicker, but there's not like a character that's like, oh, we need to capture them and make $1 million, or we need to. No, they just blow them up. That's their goal.
That's a good one. Another weird one like that I have that I need to watch, Alien Nation. I have like the movies, but there's like all these
Yeah.
weird TV show, like a
I remember the
series,
TV shows when I was
Yeah.
little. Man.
weird TV movies. Like I bought all of it at some point and just never watched it. Like I've seen the movies, but there's like these weird. It's pretty weird. Like
The men aliens have the babies.
Oh,
it's like all
That's
these
it.
weird TV movies.
I remember when I was little. When I was little, watching Alien Nation, and the man alien had a baby, and I was just like confused as I could be.
It's like they're
Like,
trying
wait
to
a minute.
indoctrinate us with this. They're trying to brainwash us with this stuff. It's everywhere.
It all started back
Nation.
then.
so speaking of alien movies, I mean, of course, you all know Alien, and then there's Aliens. There's a sequel, but you know how Italy is with their copyright stuff. They're very loose. So you know, you had Night of the Living Dead, then you had, you know, Land of the Dead, and you had all those other dead movies.
Nightmare. I've come across those recently. I haven't
Yeah.
watched them yet, but there's like Nightmare City. Tarantino was talking about that one.
Huh. Well, so in Italy, they were doing their own spin-offs of Night of the Living Dead, and they call it Zombie. Well, they can get away with it somehow without getting sued. Well, some guy decided to make a sequel to Alien before uh, Aliens came out, and it's called Alien 2 on Earth. And I just recently watched that one, and it's okay. It has nothing, I repeat, nothing to do with Alien. There are alien life forms in it. They're more in the form of like rocks, but it has nothing to do with the original Ridley Scott Alien. But it is kind of fun. There's a lot of atmospheric shots in a cave, which I'm really into cave movies too. Caves are a natural kind of scary place. Like movies like The Descent, where you just, if you're claustrophobic, don't watch it. There's a lot of movies like that. The Cave is another one of them. They just kind of make you feel eerie to begin with. And the idea of being somewhere that no one has ever been before, I love that thought. And you know,
Oh yeah.
you could there's the potential to find a cave in somebody's backyard that hasn't been explored past a certain point, and wow, I've you know, no other human has breathed this air or something, you know, just that idea. And then what if you found evidence that maybe somebody has been there, you know, maybe you find cave drawings or something. That idea is kind of, it's always been cool to me. So caves are creepy. There's tons of caves movies.
There's some weird Nazi horror movies I've been meaning to see, and now one's Burial, and then there's one that's like about a vampire. That's God, I forget the name of it. I was just seeing it on their own Shutter, but
Forget Iron Sky.
yeah, Burial and the Blood Vessel. As I haven't seen Blood Vessel or Burial, but they're like weird Nazi horror movies.
I'll be right back.
Who just went? Where'd you go? Did you go
He said you'd be right back.
So I'll be right back.
Alright. But so what's up? What do you? I mean, you have pretty good eclectic taste. There's stuff in here I've never heard of, and I find a lot of weird stuff.
So
mean,
I do. I tried to do that. And of course, Google is your friend. You know, you always search. So I'll go maybe 70s monster movies, 70s creature features, 80s creature features. You know, just try to find them, and then you know you skip past the first couple and go to some of the weirder ones for sure. So, you know, not Bigfoot related. Some of the more
Spookies. Have you ever seen that? Spookies.
I know of it. No, I don't think I've
It's a
officially reviewed it.
That's one you should definitely check out. It's 1986 Spookies, and it's crazy as hell special effects wise. That would be a good one.
I have seen that. Yeah,
That's a
that
weird
one was awesome. It was basically a haunted house
Yeah,
horror, and
it's an old weird one.
yeah, that one was, and all practical effects. They had a giant spider woman in it, and they had zombies, and they had all kinds of stuff in that one. That one was great. I think that I did review that, but it got blocked on YouTube. Whatever it is, what it
For
is.
boobies. It's on Screenbox.
Is it? Yeah, no, that's a good one to watch for sure. It's just fun, kind of 80s haunted house movie. I don't know how else to describe it.
I love those cube movies. I know there's like a Japanese one. I haven't watched it yet, but I need to watch it. It's on Screen Box. But the crazy cube movies where they get trapped and have to do all the stuff and lose arms and stuff. And like it's called Cube. Those are pretty wild. There's one like that on Netflix that's called Circle. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen other people review it because I didn't have time
pretty
to watch
crazy.
it. That one was cool. Yeah, for sure.
Those are weird.
I've seen Circle.
Yeah, that's a weird one. You seen Cube? There's a bunch of those. They're called CUBE. That's why the guy that did Splice. He did that weird movie with Adrian Brody about the hybrid.
Oh yeah.
Booby lady or whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of boobies, have you ever seen the movie Life Force?
Yes, Toby Hooper, baby. That's right.
Yeah, Toby Hooper just kind of went off the walls, made a space vampire movie.
It's good.
It is good.
I have it on DVD.
Yeah, it's not a movie I'd watch with the kids though.
Yeah, there's a lot of boobage.
There is.
I think one of the most the best upcoming person right now is Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he had 3 bangers. Now that middle one was kind of weird, but Nope. I think Nope was as good as any alien movie ever made. The tension the whole time.
He's done a lot recently.
You just wanted to hide your face.
Get Out, Nope, Us.
Get Out was good. Us was weird.
Yeah, Candyman. He did the new Candyman.
Yeah. And he's redoing he's redoing the Twilight Zone to all the comedians.
I was upset they canceled the Twilight Zone.
They never gave it a good chance. It was on that CBS platform.
Yeah,
That you
nobody watches CBS. Unless it's college football, nobody's watching CBS.
Well, I like his movies. I saw The Blackening. That's an all. Well, there's white guys in it, but I guess they're evil. Well, the cop's not, but it's The Blackening. It's basically it's worth seeing. It's a slasher, and it's actually surprisingly great. I was surprised.
Yeah.
And
they can't kill us all. That's what it says.
Yeah. They have to play a game, and it has the little black racist face, and it's got a lot of tropes in it, but it was good. Like I liked it.
Or Thank You for Holding with Danny Glover.
What was
Y'all seen that one?
No, I haven't.
For Holding.
Called. I was telling somebody about that today, but it's called. It's something like it's about a call center, and the guy gets a job. He's down on his luck. He's like a starving artist, and he gets this job there.
Is it Sorry to Bother You?
Sorry to Bother You. Yes.
Okay.
Damn. But it turns out he's working for a company. He doesn't know what this company does, but he's just making all these calls. And then Danny Glover teaches him how to sound white. It's his white voice.
Yeah.
And so it says Danny Glover like talking to somebody on the phone, but it actually sounds like like Bob Saget. It's like, hi, how are you?
I've been meaning to watch it. He also has a show on Amazon about Virgo something. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it.
It's got a wild ass twist on the end. I mean, nobody's ready for the twist at the end of Sorry to Bother You. Like, what in the world? What?
I need to watch that. I've been wanting to watch it. Looks good.
It's a creature feature. It's a creature feature. Spoiler alert.
Huh.
Really?
Mm-hmm. What is it again?
Sorry to Bother You.
Really?
There's creatures in it. Yep.
Wow.
2018.
I like Don't Clone Tyrone, or They Clone Tyrone.
You're not ready for the reveal of the creatures, and I may have ruined the whole movie. Don't care. Don't care. It'll be worth you finding out what they are.
We'll forget by the time we watch it.
Because you're gonna watch it, you're like, what are the creatures going to be? And you find out, like, no way.
I'll check it out for sure.
They Clone Tyrone was good.
Yep, that was a good. Yeah, with not Jamie Foxx.
I love Jamie Foxx.
Was it Jamie Foxx?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
it was good. I liked it.
What's the other one where he was a vampire killer?
Day Shift. I haven't watched that yet.
I've heard that one. Yeah,
that was a good one.
Snoop's in it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What about the Feast movies?
I watched all those. There's 3 of them.
That's a weird situation. They're good. Is that guy
like
anything else? I wonder. They're really good.
I like it. Just being stuck in a bar with crude people. Yeah,
I like that scenario.
It was
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, it's I
love From Dusk Till Dawn. There's a movie that I saw recently, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's about the guy that I think that did Bliss, and he's done a bunch of weird movies, but a Santa Claus Comes Alive, like a Santa Claus automatron and goes crazy,
Huh,
and that was really good.
that sounds fun.
I'll have to find it.
Did you see the Piranha series?
Yes, I've
There's
seen a
there's,
bunch of them.
there's Piranha, then there's Piranha 2, The Spawning, and then there's a 1995 did a scene for scene reshoot of Piranha with Mila Kunis in it. And she's a little girl. It was her first role, which is weird. And then there's Piranha 3D and Piranha 3DD, and obviously that is dumb. But the second one, the Piranha 2, has flying piranhas in it. That's the big shtick. But it's actually directed by James Cameron. And the guy, it was one of his first directing roles, if not his first directing role. And they flew him over to Greece at the time, and he was premiering the movie and all this stuff. But he was poor; he didn't have any money whatsoever to his name. So he broke into some banquet hall and was eating their food like out of the trash. That night, after the movie premiered, he got sick, went back to his hotel room, had a fever dream that he was being chased by a metal man, and that's how Terminator 2 happened. So if he never made the movie Piranha 2, we wouldn't have Terminator 2.
Nice. That movie's called Christmas Bloody Christmas, and
I've
try
heard of
not
that.
to forget it because it's actually really good and different and crazy as hell.
Christmas Bloody Christmas.
Not
Sounds like
sure
a good
what.
movie to watch in December.
Yeah, it's about a robotic Santa Claus that goes crazy. I'm trying. Joe Begos did it. Begos. Joe Begos. He
Kind
did.
of reminds me of Futurama whenever the Santa
Yeah.
Claus always goes nuts.
Ho, ho, ho.
Let me see what
ho,
else Joe
ho.
Begos. If you're not familiar with Joe Begos, you need to look this dude up. He did Almost Human, The Mind's Eye, Bliss, VFW, and Christmas Bloody Christmas. And Joe Begos. All his movies are weird and good. Like
Hmm. Yeah, I have
VF,
it up here. That looks cool.
VFW is one of his movies. It's one of those weird bar situations where, things come to the bar and try to get you and stuff. Try to kill you in the bar.
Back to Feast.
Yeah. I love From Dusk Till Dawn. They really messed it up, though. The other movies and the show wasn't even that great either.
I've heard that.
Perfect Tarantino movie though.
Yeah. Harvey Keitel.
It was From Dusk Till Dawn was just like, I it's gonna get to the vampires, but it's like halfway through it gets to it, and it's like I was watching like some gangster movie before there, some guys trying to get over the border, and then all of a sudden it's a vampire movie out of the blue.
Imagine
Yeah.
not knowing the first time.
It'd be nuts. It'd
Like,
be so
what
much
in the
fun.
world?
Yeah.
That's why I don't when movies like Jordan Peele and like that come out, the one-off horror movies, one-off sci-fi movies are my favorite genres. I don't want to know
for
any.
sure.
I want maybe like the premise, but I don't want to know anything else. And because I went and saw Nope, I didn't know anything about it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is good.
That's the
This
best
is a
way to do
drug.
it, for sure. Yeah.
I love one-off sci-fi movies, one-off horror movies, like The Martian, Interstellar, things like that. I love movies like that. Cloverfield.
One other big one that I've watched, well, it was last year, but is Salem's Lot. I think pretty much everybody's seen that,
The
but
first one, the Toby
all of
Hooper.
them. Yeah, there's Salem's Lot, which is the 3-hour miniseries,
Love them all.
and then there's Salem's Lot 2, which is the movie. It's a movie where it basically picks up, but vampires live in this town and they just try and live their lives. It's not as good. And then there's the 2004 remake
Rob
with Rob
Lowe.
Lowe. Yeah, which is fun. I guess it's more truthful to the books.
Some shows I'm looking forward to. I really loved Hannibal by Brian Fuller. Of course, they canceled it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's done.
it was like 5-star reviews, not enough viewers. Axe.
Well,
And it was great. It was crazy. It was like one of the darkest, weirdest things I've ever seen on TV. But I don't think they're ever going to bring it back. There's talk from Mads Mikkelsen and stuff like that. But he's doing a Friday the 13th prequel show on Peacock, Brian Fuller. He's also doing a Christine, which is a new Stephen King adaptation of Christine somehow. I don't know if it's a movie or a show or what. But I'm interested in the Friday the 13th thing. It's like a prequel into his family life. You know, when it's going to be focused on the family, the Voorhees family.
That'd
So
be
That could be a good
interesting.
one. Feel like Bates
yeah,
Motel.
with Brian
Maybe.
Fuller on board, yeah. If he don't quit, he quits everything. Like he quit Interview with the Vampire. That would have been so much better with him. Like I watched it, it was good, but there was a lot of it I was like, oh, what am I watching? And that was that AMC thing.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
he quits a lot of stuff, so that worries me. He'll quit Friday 13th, and some idiot will take over, and it'll be terrible. And plus, there's a lot of rights
Yeah,
situations. Like they're about to shut down that whole game because of that, which pisses me off. I've actually been playing the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's on Game Pass with Xbox.
hmm
It is crazy good. Like it is creepy. You basically wake up upside down in Leatherface's
cool.
place,
Barn.
and the grandpa's there, the hitchhiker, the cook dude, the other guy. There's a girl there named Sissy. They added her just to balance it out with women, but it's pretty authentic. Like everything looks like the house,
Cool.
and grandpa's in it. You have, if you're on the Leatherface's team, you have to feed grandpa blood, and his extrasensory powers get stronger, and he can figure out where people are.
Hmm.
And you got to be real quiet. You can't hit chicken bones, or they'll hear you, or it's insane. It's like I think they need to do a House of a Thousand Corpses DLC
Yeah.
download. But you can. That's where Rob Zombie got a lot of influence from. But it's actually really good. It's actually kind of scary. Like it takes a lot to scare me. It doesn't like terrify me, but it's
hmm
creepy. You're
Yeah.
basically trekking around in their house trying to get out, and you're wounded. You have to dig up bones and get a chicken bone for a weapon.
You know you're in trouble when you're using a chicken bone for a weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the softest of all
Like,
bones.
it's actually really
Yeah.
good. Like if you play games that I do sometimes, it's actually excellent.
You know, we were talking anthology movies earlier. One thing I kind of just forgot about is a movie called The Monster Club. It has Vincent Price in it and John Carradine. Very old, aging John Carradine. It's pretty cool. It's an anthology. It's a guy just telling monster stories in a club. It has some unique monsters. One that like his superpower is whistling, and it will kill you by whistling, which is kind of a neat idea. And then it's a pretty interesting little movie. It's very 80s. There's like they're in a club and they're playing 80s music and stuff. I recommend it. That one's fun.
It's on Tubi. I've heard of it. I don't know if I've seen it, but I've seen that poster of all those monsters.
Yeah,
But it's on Tubi.
it has an iconic poster for sure.
I just feel like with all this UFO and alien stuff, we hit some kind of evolutionary weird thing because I was on Roku and this show kept popping up called UFO Cowboys. And it's kind of like Skinwalker Ranch, but cowboys with all this technology trying to find UFOs on the prairie. I'm like, am I in an alternate reality now?
You
Like,
might
I
have
didn't
slipped
watch
over.
it. I didn't watch it, but it was like something's happened.
I've heard that one was terrible.
Really? I haven't
Yeah,
watched
I
it.
can't even start it. It's been recommended to me, obviously.
Yeah.
Just from all the other crap I watch.
I like the Castlevania cartoon on Netflix.
I like
It's
those
not
too.
bad. It's pretty good.
I like
I
the
like
game,
it.
of course, but yeah, the,
Yeah.
the cartoon was fun.
Yeah, I need to
Castlevania.
finish it. The Gremlins cartoon on HBO is pretty good. It surprised me. Like it's very well made. Joe Dante helps with the lore of it. Like he's a
Good.
producer. So
Good.
yeah, that's a quick little run through. That's like 10 episodes, 20 minutes a piece or something. But so what are you looking forward to that's coming out? Like we have to stop 5 after. But is there anything coming out in the theaters or anything coming out? I know I saw that Prime Evils from Full Moon. That guy's been working on that forever. Something
Oh,
called Prime Evils is supposed to come out. I'd love to see that.
um, there's a Bigfoot movie coming out based off the book The Evolution. That looks kind of interesting. I don't know anything about it, but
Is that the guy that did the zombie stuff too?
yes.
I've read that book.
World War Z.
Evolution. That was a crazy book.
I'll have to read it. Yeah.
World War Z was good. The movie was
Yeah.
not.
The big World War Z. Arthur Max Brooks did a Bigfoot book, Evolution. That's what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
about the wasn't it like the Bigfoot Wars?
Well, basically, all these people live in
Mount
this
St. Helens?
community and upset Bigfoot, so it gets crazy violent. might.
It's been in my Amazon cart for 5 years.
Might want to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, it's actually good.
I don't know. I'm kind of
waiting for the book.
seeing what's coming out soon, and they're it looks like they're doing another Pet Cemetery. I know they're remaking Salem's Lot, as we mentioned.
A lot of stuff stopped because of the strikes.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's definitely stopped a lot of stuff. But so I don't even have my hopes up for some of these movies. I know they the sequel to the new Spider-Man that should be coming out soon. Saw has a new one coming out.
Yeah. What Spider-Man? You talking about the cartoon one?
Yeah. The one with Miles.
That just came out. That came out.
I think there's another one pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
I think
I need to watch those.
it's worth a watch.
I haven't watched them.
See, I have a 5-year-old, so some of my I'll be there's Paw Patrol the movie coming out, and whatever.
I got one. Have you seen The Great Divide with David Cross in it?
The Dark Divide.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That surprised me.
It does. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect going in. It's a guy about butterflies, but it ends up. Well, I don't know. You see David Cross in his underwear a lot, so if you're into that,
an independent movie. It's actually based on a true story. The guy has a book on Audible and everything in a book. It's based on a real dude that was like an insect specialist or something. I don't know what he was, but somehow he got into Bigfoot.
Yep.
Big time. He started doing lectures.
Yeah, his wife had cancer and she was dying, and she applied him for a grant, and he got it, and his grant was to study butterflies, and so his whole thing was to hike this trail, and during his hike he discovered new species of butterflies and stuff. I wish Wild Trees was here; he'd know all about it. Probably
he loves that movie, by the way.
I'm sure.
I do too.
I love it. I found out.
But yeah, then along his way he has some things that are hard to explain. Could be Bigfoot.
I've interviewed Christopher Munch. He did a movie called Letters from the Big Man. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't, and I need to. It's one that I can't. Getting it is kind of hard, so I haven't been able to find it in the wild lately and stuff. But I have to just track it down.
You can buy it or rent it on Amazon. But
yeah,
he sent me one. I have it on disc.
Do you?
Yeah, I interviewed him. Yeah, Lily Ray from American Horror Stories in it. It's weird. It's a weird one. It's good.
I've heard good things.
Good effects too.
You said you had a 5-year-old. The biggest godsend to having children. Mine's got 11, 9, and 3. Is Gravity Falls. That is the best thing. I mean, this show was made. This show was made for dads that want to watch something. It's not stupid.
I'll check it out. I've seen parts.
You've never seen it? Oh my god!
For my daughter, and I never watched it.
It's so good.
I'll download it. Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect. It's like G-rated, but it's perfect sci-fi serial show.
Maybe that'd be a good one to watch.
The writers are best friends with Rick and Morty's writers, Justin Roiland.
I thought so. Yeah, I see Kristen Seagal's in it. She does
in the same universe. Yep.
Huh.
Very well written.
That Justin Roiland, not to get into this, but we don't have much longer. But I mean, he was found not guilty, so he's still.
They're still fired.
They're still canceled. If you're not found not guilty, then I would think you come back.
I think he told him to shove it, because I think he told him to shove it. Like, I don't need. I have my money, and you need me more than I need you.
Yeah, it was just weird.
I was disappointed. It ruined my winter last year. Because I love Rick and Morty. It's like half my personality.
Yeah, what's up with Kevin Spacey? Like, he just kills everybody that tries to so he wins everything. Like,
true.
He's coming back. He's creepy, but I like his movies, but he's so creepy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I wouldn't want to be alone in a room with him.
No.
There was like some weird site people resurrected of all these stories of him like trying to molest them and give them money, like all these letters. Creepy.
I got one final question. I know we're wrapping up.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think was the monster at the end of The Thing, John Carpenter's? Was it Dude or was it Kurt Russell? The black dude or Kurt Russell? Kurt Douglas. Who was it? Kurt Russell. Who's Kurt Russell? Okay.
Kurt Russell, yeah. I'm thinking about that. I think the movie leads us to probably think
with the eye glimmer. The eye glimmer makes you think it's.
So my story behind The Thing is I was super excited to watch it. I waited until it was really cold out. It was probably like January, February. Snow was on the ground, really thick. Perfect time to watch The Thing. And maybe it's my fault for just everybody hypes it up, but I didn't get into it. I tried. I really tried. And people are going to, get the pitchforks out and go after me, but I just didn't get into it. Now the effects were great. It was really cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, I did watch it. I've seen it several, few times through. And but yeah, I know what you're talking about at the end. Who was it, and I mean, it's left open on purpose.
Yeah, it's for purposes like this, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love John Carpenter. I know he's involved with some weird zombie game coming out. It looks crazy as hell for everything. It's called, I forget what it's called, but you could put in John Carpenter zombie game, and it looks crazy as hell. Like it looks like Land of the Dead. I recently watched those Romero movies, Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Man, that was great. It's been a while. Those are fun to watch. So
They are fun.
much. Yeah,
They're fun.
it had been a while since I'd seen them. Sometimes I sit back and say, okay, I know I'm going to croak one day. What movies would I watch that I want to watch before I croak? I'm morbid, I know, I'm a Capricorn. But those I ended up watching. I want to watch Land of the Dead too. I've seen it before, but just watching them is a lot of fun. I know they're doing Twilight of the Dead too, which is a new one that's supposed to be based on maybe one of his scripts. I know when he died, he was doing some Road to the Dead, which was some crazy like vehicle one or something.
Interesting.
But I'm trying to find the John Carpenter zombie game that's coming out. If you can, look at the trailer. It looks crazy.
So one thing, going back to of the Dead series, George
Mhm.
Romero obviously started that. He also did a kind of a history lesson, but he did a pilot maybe for a movie called Jacaranda Joe, and that
Yeah.
is a Bigfoot movie. And a really cool story behind that is there was Valencia College in Florida had a program where they would have directors come down and make movies with them. And that was the same year, I think Edward, the guy who did Blair Witch Project and Exist, he graduated from that year. But
Mhm.
George Romero comes down,
No.
he does his, he works with all these students, these juniors and seniors. They make a short film, and he just nopes out of there and lets them finish it. And it was lost until maybe a year ago. Like
Did you see
nobody
it
found
at
it.
the university online?
On Pittsburgh, yeah, Pittsburgh
I saw
University
it.
found
I
it.
was there.
Were you in the
I
chat?
had Al Going Back on. Have you heard of? You know who Al Going Back is? OWL Going Back. He writes Native American horror movies.
Oh,
He's friends with Ramiro. Ramiro is going to have him be that native that fights the thing.
yeah,
And
cool.
we've talked about it, but if you want some good horror, Al Going Back, OWL Going Back. He's been around a while,
Okay.
writes native horrors down here in Florida, but he was friends with Romero and gave us a lot of insights. Like, they shared letters and stuff like that.
Cool.
But that John Carpenter movie's Toxic Commando, look up that trailer
Huh.
sometime. It looks crazy. I mean, not a movie, it's a game.
Game,
But
yeah.
John
It
Carpenter sponsored it somehow.
sounds like Toxic Crusaders, like the
Yeah, I want to see
Moxie.
that Toxic Avenger. That movie actually messed with my head when I was a kid, seeing that car crush
That
that
kid's
little
head.
boy's head.
Yeah.
That messed with me all my
You don't
life.
see kids die like that. No.
Yeah, it was horrible. But the Macon Blair guy is doing this Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage, and he did Green Room. That was good. That was really good. Green
Peter
Room
Dinklage.
with with Patrick Stewart was like a Nazi guy. You ever seen Green Room? But the guy, see that one. That is really good. So these people get trapped in a bar and Nazis in there. And it's called Green Room. It's got a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. Macon Blair, he's the guy that's doing. Well, no, somehow I've mixed up something because it's showing a different director. I don't know what the hell I did, but Macon Blair's the guy doing Toxic Avenger, but somehow I thought he was involved in Green Room. I thought I read, but who knows with me.
Toxic Avenger was made by Troma, who makes all kinds of just kind of off the wall. They make and produce and all that. The Bigfoot movie that they did was The Capture of Bigfoot, and it is pretty bad. It's very Troma. The suit looks really stupid, and a suit can make or break the movie. And maybe it's a funny movie, it's a comedy, and the suit's supposed to look dumb. But when you get a real good suit, like you spend a couple grand on a suit for the movie, that makes a big difference. They didn't opt for this in this movie. It's a really dumb suit, but they capture Bigfoot and it escapes and all that stuff.
It's like those Bigfoot costumes from the Love and the Time of Monsters.
Yes, well, and yes, and those are supposed
Amazon.
to be fake, but yeah, they are totally taken right from Amazon.
They're kind of hard to watch.
They are. Oh, Troma, yeah.
But Macon Blair is an actor in a lot of movies. He did Blue Ruin and Green Room. I guess he was in Green Room. His directorial debut was I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. That was actually really good. If you haven't seen that, it's on Netflix, I think, still. I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. Elijah Wood has a mullet and throws nunchucks. Or a rat
hide me. I'm sold.
Yeah. And the lady from Yellow Jackets, the cute black, she's not black, she has black hair and white. She's in Last of Us too as a villain.
Yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about.
She's in it. But yeah, man, we're at the end here. Let's get that link to everybody. Tell us how to get to you.
I'll just search YouTube for Creature Movie Reviews. You'll see me on there. We're every Monday and Thursday we come out with new things, and you never know what you might get, but there'll always be a monster, and it'll always be a good recap of the movie, and then a quick review at the end. Check it out, YouTube Creature Movie Reviews.
All right, we appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
It's been a great show. Thanks, Bobby.
Very fun.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Wild Trees. I hope y'all heal, and I hope this COVID plague stays wherever and doesn't mess with us. Seems like it's resurfacing.
It was good to meet you.
Yeah, for sure.
Brad.
We'll have to get
Maybe I'll get a hold of you and get you over on my show. We'll talk about some stuff.
Yeah,
good talking. Southern talking. That's right. Where are you at, Brad? What state?
I'm in Ohio.
Okay.
So not southern.
Kind of southern, but not really.
No, I'm up here.
I'm Georgia. From Georgia. That's what.
He likes a good kolache.
Bobby's in Alabama. We're southern boys.
Yeah, you guys are complaining about the weather. It was like 75 degrees up here. It was really
110. Feels like 130.
I got told by some country people here, "You're not country." Yes, I am.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just weird from alien encounters and all kinds of weird stuff. But we appreciate it, everybody. Have a good weekend. Thanks. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you. Woo. Coffee.
Right. Let me. There's one thingy I'm supposed to play. I better do it.
You better.
Yeah.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. From 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.